You're welcome to my channel Mindset Academy, where we want to solve a problem involving isometric projection. In this video, we'll be learning on how to convert or transform orthographic projection into isometric projection or isometric projection into orthographic projection. Now, if you look at the right hand side of the screen, you are going to see a figure in orthographic projection, and these are the two views. Looking at these views closely, you discover that they are both in what? Third angle projection. Now what I want to do first of all, I want to draw this figure in isometric projection. Then after that, I will now be showing you how to convert it back to what? Orthographic projection, as the question suggested. So the first thing you first of all do when you hear the word isometric projection is for you to draw your isometric axis, right? You take your set square and you place it on your T square, right? You place it on your T square, you draw your vertical line, I see that, and you draw your x-axis and you draw your y-axis. Is that taken? You draw your x and you also draw what? Your y. I can use this if I want to. Can you see that? Now the next thing you will do is for we to get the entire length or width and the entire width also. Now if you look at the diagram closely, look, we want to get the length of this figure, right? So the length will be placed at this point here, and we have it to be 120 from this point to this point is 120. So I'm going to take my meter rule and I'm going to measure 120 from this point. So my 120 will be from here to here, from this point straight down to this point here. You can see that. That is the 120. So let me just extend this a little bit. Now the next one is the width. The width is given from here to here, which is what? 70, right? Because this is the end elevation here, so we'll get the width there. That will be 70 from here to here. So I'm going to measure 70. Then the height is given to be from here to here is 60. 60 plus the radius of this circle here, which is what? 10. And that will give us what? 70. So our height here also is also 70. From 0 to 70. Now I will draw it out to form my box. Right? From here, I'm going to take here upward. And from here also, I'll take here upward. And I'll close here up also. Close here too. Also. And I'll close here too also. And I'll close here too also. So what I've done here, I have drawn out the box in which I want to carve out my what? My image, right? Now if you look at that closely, we are told that from this point to this point here, right? is given to be what? 5 millimeter. Is that taken? So I'm going to first of all measure that 5 millimeter from that point, right? So from here, I'll measure 5 from 0 to 5. You can see that, and I'm going to draw everything I need. What I did here, I'll do it at this point too. An angle of this, and an angle of this also, right? So let me just complete that. Now the next thing is the thickness from here to here is given to be what? 15, right? So measure 15 from here to here, from 0 to 15. And the other side from here to here is given to be what? 30. Now measure 30 from here, from 0 to 30. Is that taken? And I'll take my instrument, and I'm going to taking this point here up. I'll take it up, and I'm going to take it up too, right? You can see that. And the next thing is I should be able to take in the base here from this point. First of all, before I do anything, let me just proceed first. And I'll draw my line from this point straight down, and also draw it from this point straight down. You can see that, and I can easily close here up too. And I'll close here up too from the end here. And stop here. Right? Now we'll proceed. So the next thing we're doing here is that the height from this point to the next point here is given to be 40. So from the base here, I'll measure 40 upward. So let's measure the 40 upward from here to this point here, this 40. Right? So from that point, I'm going to repeat the same feat. I'll do this faint line first. I'll stop here, and I'll do the same thing here too. So that is the height, 40. Let me just close all up. Now the next thing I'll do here is that if you look closely, we are given from here to here diameter to be what? 40, right? So, and the depth of it is what? Radius of 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the center of this line here, right? Get the center of it. That is 35, right? And I'm going to bring it down this way. Can you see that? I'll take it down this way. And I am going to measure, since we're told radius of 20, I'm going to measure 20 inward. That is the radius there. I'll measure 20 inward. Then I'll draw my line like this. You can see that. And I'll also bring it down too. Let me take this down also. This way down. Just faint lines first. I'll take it this way, right? And what does again? I'll take this down to where they meet here. This is this from this point to this point is the same thing as saying from this point to this point, right? So they are both the same. So that is just my target there. So what I will do is they are given a diameter there of 40, meaning that what? There is a semicircle at this point here with a diameter of 40. So I need the radius of 20. So when I take my radius of 20 this way, radius of 20 from 0 to what? To 20. I see that? I'll place it at this point here. You see what I want to do here? I'll place it at this point here. This is radius of 20 here, right? I'll come again. This from here to here is 20. I'll mark 20 here to this point. I'll mark 20 here. I'll also what? Mark 20 here. I'll do that for both sides. I'll come here also, place it at this point. I'll mark 20, which is this. I'll come here and mark 20. I'll mark 20 and also what? Mark 20. So I'll use it to form my box using ordinate method since it involves a circle. So if I come here, I'll draw my line this way. I'll come here too. I'll draw it this way also. And I'll close it up this way. And I'm going to close it up here this way too. Using ordinate method of construction. And since I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, I've gotten my box. I'll do the same thing up here too. I'm going to close it up this way. I'll close it up too from this point I marked this way, then close it up finally. So I have gotten another box here, that is from here, 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 and what? Here. Now what do you notice? We'll draw our elliptical, semi-elliptical shape here. How can you draw your circle? This is how you draw your circle, which is an ellipse in isometric. I'll join the longest diagonal from this point to this point. You can see that? Then I will join from this end to this end, and from this end to the other end here too. So where they meet, this is where I'm going to draw my arc. So if I take my compass, right, if I place it at this end here, and I'll take it to this point here, I'll be able to draw what? My circle. You can see that? I'll be able to draw what? My circle. So let's move. You see? Then I'll place it here also. I'll connect here to this point. You can see that? Then I'll do the same thing here too. I'll join the longest diagonal here. First of all, let me brighten out this. You can see that? So I'm going to bring this down straight ahead. Before I do that, what I did here, I'll do it here also. Join the longest diagonal. You can see, and I'm having this. I'm having this, right? So I don't really have to stress myself again. I'll just transform the points. What I really need here is this point here. So placing it on my t-square means I want to transform the point from this point. So I transform this point from here to here. This is what I need, right? So I'll just take my compass. I'll place it at this end, right? To this end here. Then I'm going to draw. You can see that? And I'll place it here too. And I'm going to join. You can see that? Then I'm going to join this end to this end. And this end to this end. You can see that? So meaning that this will not show. So I'm going to tick in this at this point here. So let me tick in that. You can see that? So meaning that the other part here is thickened. And here also is thickened. And I can easily do this. I'll join from here to here. You can see that? And what else again? I'll join from here to here. You can see that? And we move forward. I'll also close it up too. And here too. That again. Now if you look at the diagram again, we have another circle, right? At the center here that is 50 millimeter away from this center here. So I'm going to measure 50 millimeter away from here to here is 50 millimeter. So I'm going to measure it 50 millimeter. This is 50 here. You can see that to this point. So on that point, I'll just draw my line. I'll pass through the center there. You can see that. So this is what I need here at this point. Don't forget the center line, right? So I need this point here. And we're given the radius of that circle there to be what? We can see to be 15. So I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to measure 15 from 0 to what? To 15. This is 15 here. Can you see that? And I'm going to place it here at this point because it is extended to the ending here. So I'm going to place it at this point here. I'm going to mark 15 to the side, 15 here, then 15 up, and now 15 down, which I'm going to explain to you too. I'll do here also. I'll do the same thing. 15 up, 15 to the left, then 15 to the right, then 15 down. So why I did that is the reason is this. I'll take my meter rule and I'll draw a line that will pass through where this center line intersect this line here. And I'm going to have this. Right? I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing too. I'm going to have this. That again. Then this is what we have here. So what I just need is just this point that we have here. So from here to here is 15. Right? Here to here is 15. So this point here also is what? 15. Don't make that mistake. 15. 15. 15. 15. So I'll make it to form my box. So with the help of my set square, I'll form this box. This. this, passing through those points to mark 15. This and what? This, right? And I'll come here. I'll get this. I'll get this. And I'll get this together with this. So what do you notice? I've gotten this 4 point that I need. Ordinate method of drawing a ellipse or semi-elliptical shape. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing I did here, right? I'll join the longest diagonal from here to here, and also from here to here. You can see that. Then I'm going to join either from this point or this point. I'll take my point from here, join to this point here, then join to this point here. You can see that. So this is what I need here, this point and this point. So with the help of my compass, I'll place it here, right? I'll place it here to this end point here. You can see what I'm doing? I'm going to draw this. You can see that? And I'll come at this point also. I'll do the same thing. From here, I'll draw my arc. You can see that? Which I am going to tick in now. So this is what we have here. I'll repeat the same thing here also. Is that taken? I will just transform my point instead of disturbing myself and doing the same thing. What I need is this point here. I'll just transform my point from this point to this point here. You can see that? Then this one also from here to this point here. So I'll take my compass. I'll place it at this point here to this point here. I'm having this. Then I'll come to this point here. You can see that. So I'm going to join this ending from here to this point. So I'm taking it. Then from here to this point. You can see that. Then what we need is we will not see this, right? Or better still, I will just join this point to this point. Since it's solid, you will not see that aspect there. Then I'm going to tick in this to this point. So this is how I'll tick in it. So since it's a solid, the top is covered, like you can see from here to here. So I'll just use my set square, and I'm going to cover from this point straight down to here, and also from this point straight down to here, right? And I'm going to bring here down. From here, I'm taking it down, and from here, I'm taking it down, right? Then what else again? So we keep moving. Now, don't forget we don't really need this. That is why it is faint line. So let me just remove it to avoid distraction. So the next thing we'll be doing is this end point here, which we're told that the height from here to here is what? Is given to be um 10, right? So I'm going to measure 10 from here to here, which is the same thing as saying from here to here, I'll measure 10 upward. This is 10 here. So taking, that is the 10 I have here. So I'll use my set square. I can easily thicken it to that point. Can see that? And I'll take it to the other side. Faint line first. Let me bring it down from this point. I'll bring it down. Can see that? So it's coming down to this point. This is where they are meeting. Let me take this in a little bit too. Now when I've taken that in, then from that distance of what? Of 10, I'll take it in a little bit from here too. You can see that? And what else again? You will now take this figure you're seeing standing here, has a height of what? 60 from the base, from this point to that center, there's 60, right? So it means that from down here upward 60. But with what I'm seeing from the diagram here, it shows that what it is centralized. So I'm going to use the center of it, which is 35, because from here to here is 70. So I'm going to measure half of 70, which is 35, right? And I will now take my instrument here and I'll draw this way. So it is placed somewhere around here. Now the next thing that we'll be doing is we're giving the thickness. The height of that should be, let's see. Now if you look at this figure closely, from this point to this point here, to this center of the circle here is 40. Alright? Now we don't know distance from here to here. But the way we can get the distance is the radius of this arc here is what? Is 10. So if you remove 10 from 40, what will you have? You'll be having 30. So that means from this center here, I'm going to measure what? 30. So let me measure the 30. From this center here, I'll measure 30. This is the 30 I have here, which I am going to what? Thicken. So I'll thicken it from this point. This is where to end here. Right? Similarly, I'll take it to the other end too here. Faint line. So this is where this will end to here. So I don't want to thicken this yet. But what I need is, we know from here to here is 35, half of it, right? So I'm going to measure the 35 at this point here, from here to here, 0 to 35. You can see that? 0 to what? 0 to 35. And I'm going to take it up. I'm going to what? Take it up from here to here. And the reason I took it up is, I'll do here also, I have my reason. I'll take it up. I took it up here. I'll take this up too. And I'm going to measure the distance from here to that point there, which will give me 30 from the center point here. To that point here we have 30, 0 to 30 is 30 here. So that is the point. I'll just draw the line. So where the line cuts this, that will be the center of that circle also. And if you look at here, the center is given the thickness to be what? 12. So I will use my meter rule and I'm going to measure 6 on my meter rule. I'm going to measure 6. So from 0 to 6. Can you see that? 0 to 6. And I'll place it here. And I'm going to mark 6. Let me do that again. Just place your rule there. Center is 6, right? So if you mark 6 to the right and also 6 to the left. So this is what we have here. Is that taken? So from there, I'll draw my vertical and horizontal line this way. This way. This. This. You can see that? So once I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'll draw my circle there. So the diameter of that is given to be what? Given to be 10. The radius is going to be 10, right? Look at the radius, it's going to be 10. So I'm going to measure 10 on my meter rule. Measure 10 on my meter rule. Since the radius is 10, I'll measure 10. Right? And I'll place it here. I'll mark 10 here and also 10 here. You can see that? So I'll take my set square. And I'll just draw my this way. Draw this way. You can see that? And I'll bring it down. So it's already down already. Center. So what I have here now, I used 10 here, right, to get this point. So I'll still use it to get here to 10 and also 10. I'll close it up. Close it up. Close it up. Right? I'm going to transfer the point from here to this point here. So let's move and see what we can actually do here. So you join the longest diagonal. You join diagonal from this point to this point using ordinate method. You can see that. Then you join from this point here to this point here. Then from this point here to this point here. So this is where they are meeting. So I will now take my compass and I'll place it at this point here to get the semicircle from here to this point. Sorry. You do that. You come to this point also. You do the same thing. You can see. So I'll do the same thing at this point too. So I'll just take my set square and I'm going to join this from this end to this end here. and I'll transform the point. Transferring the point from here, from this point here, I want to transfer it to this point. Right? So I'll just take, and this point I already have it there. This point is this point here. So I'll just take my compass. From where I need this, let me bring it down too. It's very important. I bring it side down, where it will be touching with this. At this point here. And see that? Where this line meets with this, I'll take my compass to that point and I'll draw my semicircle. Can you see that? And I'll place it here and I'll get this. So this is what I will now join together. From here, I'll join this point to this point. Right? Then I'll bring this down. Sorry? Then I'll bring this down. Let me first taking this out first. So I'll bring this down. You from here, you come down to meet this. Then you from here, you come down to meet this. You can see that? Then I can easily draw my line at this point here. You see that? I'm using my French curve, I'll connect all this together. So with that, I can easily, don't forget, the same center I measured here earlier, 75 and 35, and you know the thickness is 10. You know thickness is just from here to here. Right, this is 10 here. Am I correct? Half of it is 12, so half of it is 6. So I'll come here, I'll mark 6 to the left and also 6 to the right. So this will have these 2 points here. So this is where I will now take my meter row here. I will join from this point straight down to this point here. Right? So I'm going to connect from here to be tangential to it. And I'll draw it down to this point. You can see that? And this will be coming down straight to touch this. Now I measured from here to be 10 earlier. So I'm going to bring it down at this point. I'll take it down. Then I'm going to join from here to here. Right? Then this is joining from here to here. And this is going in. Right? Then this is touching this one here. Then this is going in. Now we're not done. We know there's a circle here, so I'll just use my French curve because of it. It's too small. And I'll just put in the circle. It's very small, so I just need to use a smaller radius here. And I have this. You can see that? Now the next thing is we have another circle here. We're told that there's from here to that center of the circle is 25. So I'm going to measure from here, I'll measure 25, right? So measuring the 25 will be from this point, 0 to 25 here. Circle will be somewhere around there, 0 to 25, right? And I'll just take my instrument, I'll draw this way, in faint of a faint line. Then the next thing I'm going to do, after measuring that 25 from that point, the diameter is 16, right? Diameter is what? Is 16. So I'm going to measure diameter of what? 16. But we are told that it is 44 millimeter and 44 apart, right? So what we'll just do is I'll measure 22, 22 in both sides. Since we are told it is 44 apart, so I'll just measure 22, 22 in both sides. So take my meter rule. Now measure 22 this way, 0 to 22. And I'll place it where this line I measured meets with this here. I'll mark 22 and what? 22 here. This is where the circle is based, right? So I can just use my set square and I'll draw my line at that point. Here I'll come here, I'll do this. I'll also come here. I don't really need here because it's inside. So what really matters is here. Diameter is 16. So I'll measure 8, 8. 8, 0 to 8. And I'll place it here. And I'm going to mark 8 here, 8 here, 8 here, and 8 at the base too. So I'll join them to form my circle, right? Then join diagonals, longest one, right? So what I'll just do is I'll bring a circle that can fit in here. You can use your French curve. This is how you can use your French curve. You look for a circle that can fit into that box there, right? Or you can just use your normal French curve and your normal compass and join it. So from this point, I'll just join from here to here. From this point to I'll join from here to here, right? So from here to this point where I need. So using my French curve, my compass, place it at this point to this point. You can see that. So I'll just stop here. Sorry. Shaking. Come in. So from here. So I'll stop here. Then here. I'll stop here. So see that. Then from this point here, I'll stop here. So I can easily taking it out. This is what we have here. We've completely drawn out what we have at the right hand side of the screen. This is two of them. That's why we're told here that the two holes diameter 16. So this hole is also in the other side too. So this is what we have if we are told to draw this in isometric projection, right? So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. All right? Thanks for watching.